What's good? What's good? It's the one and only, but what do I know? Boxing coming back at y'all with another one, man. So we got. Oh my goodness, that was I enjoyed that fight, but we got Osheki Foster, Rob Conceicao. Um, Listen, man, I enjoyed this fight. It was I wasn't expecting a knockout. Neither one of them are really just known for knockouts or anything like that. So I wasn't really expecting that or anything like that. But I was expecting a high level chess match, and I'm super happy about I'm happy that Oshaki got his excuse me. I'm happy that he got his revenge, but it's stuff that I feel like he needs to work on. But I'll get to that later on in this video. First and foremost, let me say that I felt like during the beginning of the fight, I felt like Sancheco, he had like he was very relaxed. You could tell he seemed to be more confident in the fight. He was he was keeping Oshaki at a distance or whatnot. He was doing a lot of holding. And I'm surprised he didn't get a point taken away from that, because he was just doing a lot of holding. But he was keeping Oshaki at a distance, man, and very close rounds or whatever. I felt like by the fifth round, I think I had Oshaki winning the first, but the second, third, and fourth it was very close or whatnot. Rob would start off would start first, and Oshaki would try to counter at times or whatnot. And I think that was the problem with Oshaki. I feel like Oshaki was walking Robson down, but he was it's very dangerous to do that with a guy that wants to be on an outside, because what you do is you end up walking into a lot of punches. You don't want to just necessarily walk somebody down. You want to walk behind a jab. You have to give them something to think about in order to get on the inside or whatnot. And I felt like Oshaki was walking Robson down, but he just was not following up with anything. He wasn't coming with anything. He wasn't starting. He was doing a lot of countering, but I feel like when he would initiate contact, then he would have he had more success or whatnot. But either way it goes, when Oshaki finally would let his hands go, bro, it was like that looping right hand was there all night. I mean, I promise you, dude landed that shot at will. And Rob Sancheco really had nothing for that looping right hand or whatever. Towards the second half of the fight, it seemed like, and then I don't know if I said this or whatnot, but it just seemed like, if I did, forgive me, but it just seemed like was it me, or did Rob Sancheco kind of remind you of Emmanuel Augustus at times? He had that little drunken, what they call the drunken monkey style or whatever, but it was pretty funny to see. But anyways, that's just how you have to be super elusive to have that type of style. So anyways, so in the second half of the fight, it seemed like Rob Sancheco kind of was slowing down just a tad bit. Oshaki was still letting Rob Sancheco get off, but Oshaki was catching him in between shots with counters or whatnot. I thought it was at some point he was doing some good work at some point, especially when Oshaki would get on the inside and let his hands go a little more. You could tell Rob Sancheco was very uncomfortable with Oshaki being on the inside, but Rob Sancheco, once again, he did a lot of tying up or whatnot. And that's another thing that was due to Oshaki just walking right in. When you're walking right in, you're not giving them anything to worry about, and you can you clinch a little more easier. But when if you jab your way in, you punch your way in, you make your fighter or your opponent more hesitant to come for that clinch or whatnot. So that's why I was wanting Oshaki to let his hands go more. And then in like the 10th round, he caught Rob Sancheco with a good right hand, looping right hand again, and it actually hurt him. But the thing is, he allowed Rob Sancheco to get his legs back, and I was very, very frustrated at that, man, because it was just like, bro, you're allowing this dude is just walking. He's you hurt him, and you're just trying to walk to him instead of jabbing. Like, people do not realize how important that is, bro. You have to jab your way. When you hurt your opponent, you want to jab, double jab, boom, boom, and then step at me, bro. But he was just walking. He was trying to walk, and not even cutting the ring off, but he was trying to walk Sancheco down, and then ultimately Sancheco got his legs back. So he regained his legs in the same round. So it was just like, dang, you kind of let him off the hook. I didn't expect him to knock him out, but I at least wanted him to get a knockdown. That would help solidify the victory more. But it is what it is. And then the 11th round, he was O'Shaquie was letting his hands go more. He was starting to catch. He was having moments though. It was spurt. It wasn't anything. It wasn't anything just clear or clear dominance. It wasn't any of that. But he was letting his hand go more. And that's the thing about this fight. Nobody pulled away from this fight. But they definitely had moments in this fight or whatnot. But it is what it is, man. And in the 12th round, obviously, I just feel like that. O'Shaquie did, the better work in the later half. Rob was still fighting on the back foot, and he was fighting like he was defending his title. But it is what it is. O'Shaquie just called out the winner of Oscar Valdez versus Emmanuel Navarrete, which is actually going to be out here in Arizona. He said he's going to the fight. I think that those styles would make for a good fight, but it's things, like I said, that O'Shaquie has to work on. He definitely has to work on letting that jab go more. O'Shaquie's a very good fighter, very good defense or whatnot, but you have to let that jab go more. Like you can't walk into Oscar Valdez or especially Emmanuel Navarrete. You can't walk into those type of fighters, bro, because you're gonna get caught with something and it ain't gonna be nice. And those guys are not Robson Checo. They have power, both of them. So if you're gonna walk. First of all, you have to start cutting the ring off more as well. Like, you have to stop just walking in. You got to start cutting the ring off and then start jabbing more or whatnot. And and ultimately, and pick your shots. If you're gonna fight Emmanuel Navarrete and Oscar Valdez, because they are both there to be hit, both very not very but wide with punches. O'Shaquie's a counter puncher, so and he's very sharp. He's elusive. O'Shaquie, he'll give them problems, especially Oscar Valdez. He will give them problems. That makes for a hell of a fight. But O'Shaquie is going to have to start jabbing more and but as far and cutting the ring off. It was times where Rob Sanchenko was wide. His stance was wide. And the thing about having a wide stance is, it's not necessarily a bad thing to have a wide stance. Adrian Broner had a wide stance or whatnot. It's when he was like at 130 and 135, he had a very wide stance. It's nothing wrong with the wide stance offensively. It actually a lot of times kind of helps some people get off with their power or whatnot. But the thing that is bad about a wide stance is when your stance is so wide, it's hard for you to get away from punches. It's hard for you to it's just hard for you to get out of the way. It's hard for you to I'm not gonna say it totally offsets your defense, but it as far as getting out of the way of trouble, you're gonna have a hard time having a wide stance or whatnot. So that's why it was times, like I said, where I feel like O'Shaquie Foster should have pressed Emmanuel. I keep saying Emmanuel Navarrete. Emmanuel Navarrete must be gonna win this fight. Should be the winner of the fight with him and Oscar Valdez. But anyways, with Rob Sanchenko, I just feel like he should have pressed the action a little bit more, or whatever. But it is what it is, man. I would, I'm glad he got the victory. I thought that he won the first fight, so it's, I'm just glad that he got his title back now. As far as him versus Emmanuel Navarrete, I think that, or Oscar Valdez, should Oscar Valdez win, but I think Emmanuel Navarrete will win. But as far as him getting his rematch with that, I think that's as far as him getting a fight with Emmanuel Navarrete, I think that's a very good fight, very good stylistic matchup. You have Emmanuel Navarrete, the come forward power puncher, hook master, Captain Hook, whatever, and you have the slick counter puncher in O'Shaquie Foster. I mean, it just makes for a very entertaining matchup in my opinion, and I would love to see top of 2025. All right, that's just my take on it. Okay, so let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. But what do I know?